Hi, my name is Taylor Patterson. I'm a personality, host, filmmaker, and producer.
My name is Elliott Muscat, and I'm a creative director from Toronto.
Adriano Clarke. I'm a musician, singer, songwriter from the city of Toronto.
So I was born and raised in Toronto. I love the city. It's home to me.
Since a kid, I've always wanted to break down the barrier and be like, hey, I would love to make something in the city so that no one has to feel the way I did growing up.
By showing people in Toronto that there are people here that are doing things and that are passionate and that want to connect with others, I think just more of this is actually just what makes the city better.
Sure, you might have to still jump on a plane to make some opportunities, but you can be grounded wherever you're from and still make a living online, which is incredible.
It's about promoting the pragmatic, logistical thing behind the scene and how we can actually create something and how we can have a finished product and how can we share it with the world. I'll just answer your question. So
Yeah.
how did I meet Elliott and connect with him? With Elliott was he had the going away party because he was moving to Miami to go work with Neon 16, maybe my favorite boutique record label in the world, because Lex Borrero teamed up with Tiny. Tiny, if you guys don't know, is the #1 producer in the Latin American scene with reggaeton, urban music, but also just everything that involves Latin music. There's a lot of humongous titans and icons, but right now, if you ask me who's the guy right now, it's Tiny, 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 who's from Puerto Rico. He is known to be a savant. He got signed when he was still a teenager to a record label, and he's been making incredible music since then. Really known to be like a very shy, quiet guy. And he released an album that has all of the biggest Latin artists, including Bad Bunny, Rauw Alejandro, Ozuna, everybody. And so I've been a huge fan of that world because I am half Latino, which makes me full Latino, half Jamaican. And when I had the opportunity to go to this event, which was Elliott Muscat's going away, he's going to Miami, I'm like, oh shit, this is really cool. So we show up, meet him, super down to earth. And he had this incredible concept where he's not just going away and we're going to go there and vibe and drink. He's showing us how to create the art that he's been able to take to the next level and to connect with these humongous artists all over the world. So it's like he's breaking down the barriers of, people are always trying to gatekeep, right? He's doing the opposite of that. He's literally giving us the files on how he created these incredible pieces that he's collaborating with these artists.
Yeah, basically what that was like, as I was leaving the city, I didn't want to just do a gallery that's like, look at all this cool shit I made.
Okay.
Aren't I awesome? Like, I don't know, I just felt that didn't feel authentic to me. So I just took everything I had on my desktop and then printed it off and just turned a 7,000 square foot gallery space into my desktop.
Oh, cool.
And then I put a big QR code in the middle of the room that was just access to like a Dropbox folder that just had all my working files. So if you needed like pitch decks, if you needed, I don't know, graphics and like ideas and links to collaborators, I just had it all on a QR code. So I was like, hey, Toronto, here's my computer in a physical form.
That's a crazy idea.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, damn. Dude.
Yeah.
He's doing a weekly, it's called SDF, where he's doing a live. And he's like, you can go on the live with other creatives, and he's literally teaching everybody.
It sparked a concept because basically I worked so much on so many things that when your hard drive gets full, it just says like scratch disk full.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's just the name of the gallery.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I was like, here's my entire computer and hard drive for free.
Damn.
Just pull up. And then from there, I was like, well, a lot of people that couldn't come to the physical location, I'll just like do it online. So now like every Sunday I'll run like a online just session.
What do you host it on?
Just like Zoom or Google Meet.
Yeah.
I just send out the link like on my broadcast channel, and then just people pull up and we just like talk about things. I'll bring on like guest speakers.
Sick.
So I've been running that for a little bit. Yeah, for me it was just basically, as you know, like trying to make it in the creative industry is like very difficult. It's so hard to like, especially when you're like making physical things, like if you're shooting film or taking photos, like to learn how to do that, you just spend a lot of money and time like tinkering and trying to figure out how to do things. But I would often like reach out to people that I admired, or I would look online for answers, or I'd just like hang around film stores and ask questions and I just couldn't find a way to get answers. And I would always like try to reach out to bigger people I admire, but it was very hard to get a hold of them. So I was like, you know what? Let me just like try to be that person that just like gives away everything, because it just would make everyone's lives easier. And I'm kind of trying to do the thing that I wish I had in the past.
And what's been the response to that?
Amazing. Like I just like get some messages here and there that just like make it all worth it. Like, dude, thank you so much. Like your deck I used for a pitch and I got it. Or like,
Sick.
you know, like you bringing people to like bringing the community together has also inspired me to keep pushing and making more things. So it's kind of just like the fire and the support I wish I had. And I'm trying to just be the answer to do that for younger people, especially in the Latin market, because I feel like people that are not even in like North America, they have less access to things and less opportunity.
Yeah.
But now with the internet, like if I can just give them the tools, be like, hey guys, like this is everything I know, and everything and everyone that I know, just hit them up and try your best. Like they have such a better shot, you know?
Sweet, dude.
Yeah.
What's actually cool is that there's a connection with you guys, because I met you, Taylor, at what used to be Regulars.
Yeah.
Really?
So on
Rest
King
in
and
peace.
Bathurst.
Yes.
The hell?
Regulars.
That was my first job kind of thing.
What? Doing what?
I was the nightclub photographer there.
Oh, no way.
I literally worked for Patrick and Natter for like 4 years.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
What were you doing at Regulars?
I covered the space a couple times for Blog TO, and then it ended up being a spot where I would
you
like,
know
go
Pat?
network. Yeah, I met Pat. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay. You know
Mona?
Dippy?
No.
Oh, okay.
Only there a few times.
Okay.
But
So you were working at Blog TO or what?
yeah,
Okay.
I worked at Blog TO for a while. And
Nice.
There's a lot of events were held there.
Right.
Mhm.
And my buddy Drew had done an event there that I think that he wanted me to cover, and
Drew's like the record label guy?
then yeah, it should be one of the
Like
at least
works
one of
with
the
like
guys.
Carlos?
He works with a bunch of artists and
Okay,
like,
Kato?
people. Yeah, no, I don't know any of these people.
Oh, okay. Okay. Drew's a
maybe.
big guy.
He's like big black guy.
Yeah.
Big tall.
He does like management, music management.
Does music management.
Works-
yeah.
works
It's
with-
kind of
works
like
with my boys.
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
Puts on
just
the
always
R&B
doing
shit.
stuff, man. He's always
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, so I
Small world,
I
gee.
was invited
Yeah.
to perform there because they used to have R&B nights,
Yeah.
and live performances.
Oh, yeah,
so I performed there. I was invited to perform there, which was really awesome.
Yeah.
And Divya, who's my legal representative in the entertainment industry, connected us. She introduced us, and Mona was there, and it was just like, oh, this is really cool.
Oh, yeah,
and
Mona,
then
right.
we followed each other, and he's just like, if you're a live musician in Toronto, I'm going to support you, you know? And then next thing you know, we just kept running into each other.
This guy's outside, as you know.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Like, if I can't perform
Seemed like
somewhere
a Steve.
inside,
Yeah.
then I got to perform outside. Like, if it's summertime, I'm going to bring my Bose that can amplify 500
Yeah.
people can listen to me. I'm going to plug in my guitar,
Right.
my mic stand, and I'm going to find the best spots in Toronto. Because I've been determined to make sure that no matter what, I have to perform, right? I'm not going to wait for somebody
Yeah.
to give me the opportunity.
Wait, so you guys met then at Regulars because he was performing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he came up and talked to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
hair. You got
Yeah.
the big hair going.
At
Yeah.
that time, I had a massive fro,
Yeah.
and like I had like the
You're
broccoli
wearing like a
type.
Lenny Kravitz
I remember.
type.
That's what I was gonna say. I met him in his Lenny Kravitz era too.
Yeah.
That hooked me in. It's like something about this guy, very determined.
Good. Yeah, very
Yeah.
determined for sure. You know?
Yeah.
Determined people meet determined people.
Yeah, bro.
And then after that, like I felt almost like I was the only artist he was actually promoting, because like he'd go to like, because he was working for Blog TO at the time, and if people don't know, Blog TO is this humongous platform in Toronto, because you know, we're in Toronto and we all met here.
Yeah.
And he, you know, would see me performing, and he'd like turn on the camera and show me performing, and then show the rest of whatever's going on. And then next, you know, I get like a lot of people reaching out to me, or I get like a lot more eyes. And he's like, yeah, man, like you're always performing, so I gotta like support. And he's like, I almost feel like maybe
Fire,
you're the
nice.
only artist I'm constantly promoting, you know?
That's amazing.
But it was really cool. And then like
Yeah.
as you start, you know, getting to know people even better, you want to know like, okay, like we're all from this really cool city, but we're ambitious, we're creatives, we want to create art and inspire people, right? I think at the end of the day, you know, you figure out who you are. That's a huge blessing. And then it's like, now it's the work, now it's the logistics, now it's like, how can I take this idea and turn it into an actual thing? How can I connect with more people? And how can I do something that actually makes the world a better place? As like corny as that may sound, there's nothing nicer like when people are reaching out to you and be like, hey man, like you could charge us a lot of money for this, but you're literally hooking us up with these like hour-long lessons or these like modules where you're giving us how to make a pitch deck, and I'm actually getting jobs from this. I'm getting paid from it. You know, Taylor, going out of your way to constantly put on these incredible events. Oasis House, like Oasis has been a huge hit. I've been to some of the, you know, those events, and it's like bringing community together, inspiring people. Yeah, like that's basically what we're all trying to do. But also the reason we're here today is we want to share our experiences from a pragmatic point of view, from a logistical point of view on how you can actually be an entrepreneur or a creative. How can you actually have a living, make a living doing that? But how can you really connect with people? How can you like get rid of all the BS that's out there? Because there's a lot of that, right? A lot of people want to be rich and famous. It's the lottery basically, but they're not actually doing the work. If you look behind the scenes, there's no substance there. You know, they don't really understand what it's like to write something, to create something, to release something. And once you release it, you know, you can get people who are going to hate on it. You know, when you see something, Taylor, I mean, you were a stand-up comedian at one point. It's like, you know what it's like to bomb.
Yeah.
know?
Oh, no.
Yeah, more so than ever. Yeah. It was a lot of bombing, actually.
What does that feel like? You just know what's happening. You're like, this sucks. I'm just going to push through.
So stand-up's like tough in the sense that to get better, to get your reps in, just like working out or, I don't know, learning a sport or whatever it is like you have to go up on the stage. It's not like you can be in your bedroom and record a bunch of songs and then put it online. It's like you have to do the performance, right? So and to do that, especially in Toronto, is like going to open mics. If it's, you know, the winter time, you know, going out in, you know, February, driving to some open mic, lining up.
Just whoever will take you, right?
Yeah, and just because you go to an open mic doesn't mean that you get on, right? You put your name in a hat, and then you wait all night, and then you might not actually get to go on. So
that builds the nerves up too, right?
Yeah.
Maybe some nights you're like,
that's
man,
why, like,
they don't even call me.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Yeah.
And sometimes sometimes
like,
you leave before you even go because you're like, I'm too nervous, or like I'm not. So
Wow.
when you see people who are actually stand-ups, like my utmost like admiration goes out to those people because it's just pure dedication, which is why I stopped during pandemic. I stopped doing it, and I was just like, okay, I can't.
It's just the hardest grind, right?
Probably the hardest grind.
I believe it is as a
So
live
demoralizing,
performing
probably, right?
artist. Yeah, as a live performing artist.
And that's not even about the
I believe
craft,
that.
like actually like writing the jokes and then performing it. Getting all that stuff. Like, we haven't gotten into that.
And it's just like so hard to probably make a living doing that because it's just like
You
either
gotta
just
suffer
like
a long time.
it's just like you're just like absolutely crushing, or just
say it takes 10 years to really develop. Like
that makes sense.
I believe that. I mean, Elliott, you can speak to that. Like we did, we shot a mini documentary about your process, the book that, I mean, you have a book that's going to come out, which,
definitely.
you know, I have to have a copy.
Well,
no
I
problem.
will pay for it because
Let's
we
go.
support
Thank you.
each other. I think it's extremely important that you support people with your money, you know, like people that you believe in. There's nothing that hurts more than when I'm putting together a band, getting a venue independently with no label, paying for it, signing a contract, and then somebody who I know is doing well for themselves, who has a good job, messages me, "Hey, can I get free tickets?" You know, I'm like, well, it isn't free for me, and I'm rehearsing, I'm paying for like all this stuff, right? So I think it's important that we support each other like that, and that's why I'm saying that.
Thanks,
but
dude.
talk to me about or share with us.
Can I get a copy for free then?
We'll
stand-up comedian.
Stuff. No, well, basically, also, I mean, so Scratch is Full is a brand that I'm creating with a couple friends, and the idea is to share access and information and build a community for people that just haven't had it before. So as we know, trying to make it in this industry, where the hell do you start, right? You scroll on Instagram forever, you reach out to a bunch of people, you don't get a lot of DMs back, you spend a lot of money trying things, you build yourself up, that doesn't work. You're like, what the hell do I do? You know, if only people could just tell me a little bit more from someone who's made it, then I don't have to scrub through, you know, hours of different podcasts and different YouTube things. Like, it's just so hard to just get direct information and tools. Like right to the source. Like, dude, just give me your Dropbox folder. Like, I don't, you know what I mean?
Or you got to pay $10,000 for some weird guy that's going to take it to the next level. And you need to hear this right now if you want to la la la.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like,
and there's just so much information now that is just like, I think unhelpful probably. Like, it's just so hard to sift through everything.
Oversaturated.
Oversaturated, So I'm just trying to cut through the noise as much as possible and just, you know, give as much as I can very easily. So that's why when I did my art gallery show, it was literally just my desktop with a with all the files just printed, so it felt like you were in the computer. But then the QR code was like the biggest part of the whole gallery, and that was just a direct link to everything on my desktop. That is also working, right? So the Scratch This Full brand is like the, I guess, extension of that, and part of that is also the book that I'm putting out. So there's like some things that you can't put in a gallery, or you can't, you know, just talk about. Like you need to physically print it just to see and to have more information. So this first edition book that I'm printing out, that also will be available as a free PDF download, because again, it's all about access. So like first release as like a physical form, because I got to pay for the printed copies. But then again, for people that miss that or they can't afford it, it's like, here's just the downloadable version. So
the book is the same title?
Yeah. So it'll just be like Scratch This Full Volume 1.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And the idea is the book focuses on just like how I became a creative director, and specifically like the last part of the book is how I worked on that Grammy nominated album Data with Tiny. And all of the whole principle of the book is just like, most coffee table books, I would say, are I mean, they're fire to look at, but they're just finished portfolio pieces, like finished photos, or just like, here's like some screenshots from music videos. Like they're very aesthetic to look at, but as creators, like we also need to know, oh man, like how did they actually make this photo, or like how many people worked on this, or like, you know, if, let's say there's a photo or a photo book about like furniture. It's like, well, what kind of wood was this? Like if I want to remake this, like what, or like what tools did they use? A special saw? So that was like what I was trying to solve. I'm like, no coffee table book gives you the answers while looking at the finished product. So I'm trying to do the exact opposite, which is like, my book is all the finished work I barely put in the book, because you can just find it online. And if you're buying the book already, you most likely know some of the work itself. So I just put all the stuff that you wouldn't see, all the iPhone photos, all the like logos that didn't make it. And then I also included all the tools, the software that I use, the links to it, and then all the collaborators, because the collaborators are also, it's all a group thing at the end of the day. It's not just one person bringing something to life. It's like, for example, if I made a movie, movies are made with like incredible art directors and cinematographers. Like it would also just be about like making a book of that, and then listing everyone and their contacts, like, so you can hit them up being like, I love the art direction in this movie. Well, you can just hit them up directly and make your own movie with them.
What does that look like on a page? So you have some of the photos you said, some of the BTS, but then you also have a description of like how I did this, or is it really like just the goal? So good question. Like the goal is like not to like, I guess, vomit like all the information on a page. So you're like, dude, I don't even know what I'm looking. So it's like the majority of the pages are like a nice like photograph or like a process photo, and then at the bottom of every page there's like a small legend that just says like tools, timeline, budget, collaborators, like links to whatever is applicable, and then film stocks, like just everything that's applicable to that photo.
Wow.
Dope.
Yeah, because like at the beginning, like when I first started taking photos, like I was obsessed with like Petra Collins, who's like actually another Toronto like legend. Yeah, and I would like go to I would like travel around to every like film place in Toronto and like show them photos of like Petra's work, and I'm like, how did they get this like grain? Like what film stock is she using? What camera is this? And I spent like so much money buying different like flashes and gels and like different lenses and stuff and different cameras, and I just could never like get the result. And I was like, look, like I bet if I met her, she would probably just tell me, because like at the end of the day, as a creator, like it's your eye and your taste level that dictate like the thing you're making. And if you feel like you need to rely on your tools to like be your thing, then I think like you're approaching it wrong.
Especially her, she's got such an individual.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, well, for my own work, then I want to provide that access that like I didn't have before. It's like, if you guys like any of the stuff I'm doing, then maybe I can save you the like 10 racks that it would cost for you to figure out how I did this, and just tell you it. And then maybe why that's fire is because in the sake of making better art, if I just give you like everything I've learned in my lifetime, then art will just become better. You know, it's like you can just pick up where I left off. And that's like the way I look at it, you know? So
that's awesome, man.
That is awesome. That's really being human, because we, you know, sometimes when I hear people complain about where we are in history, when they're like, oh, it's such a horrible time. No, it's not.
For art.
For everything. Because like 50 years ago, or 60 years ago, we probably wouldn't be allowed in the same room just because of our races.
Oh, good point.
Not to mention, even if you're European, if you were Italian and Irish, you weren't allowed to marry each other, right? There's so many little things, not to mention technology, not to mention a warm shower. There's so many things that we are being able to piggyback from people who invented it before us, that we get to have a better life. Now you're doing that with art. I remember when I started, it's like the first time I started trying to record myself on an interface, I'm like, why does my voice sound terrible? Well, I don't know what a vocal chain is. I don't know that I need to have like all these little presets that allow my voice to have some breathing room that makes my voice have a little delay or reverb, or all these little things. Or maybe this part of the song, I wanted to have this different effect. How does Daniel Caesar make his voice sound like that? Or, how does Frank Ocean make his... And then you're spending money, you're spending time trying to figure it out. And it's like, if only I could skip all that and just know what that is, so that I can make the actual art itself.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with film.
So who's doing that? Like, imagine your favorite artist was just like, yo, here's my vocal chain, like here's the mic I use. Like, imagine it's like delivering an album, and then delivering like the way you did it, with the people. Like that's the concept.
We are seeing a rise of that, though. That's why creators are like, transcending celebrity in a lot of ways, because they are opening. I mean, TikTok. I was having this conversation recently, how I'm developing a show. And I was having a conversation with a buddy, Trezor, who's a big creator in the city as well. And I was talking to him. I was like, I think in a year or so, people will be more interested in how I produce the show than actually watching the show. And I think there's something to be said about that, where it's like, if you actually documented the experience and was like, this is how I went about doing this, it's almost more valuable than seeing it at home and just watching the output.
Definitely.
And like, I'm not sure if you guys watch The Studio, Seth Rogen's show.
Yeah. Amazing.
Okay, so they did this like cool little YouTube series, which was a lot of just like how they shot those one shots and all that stuff. There's a few different articles on how they did it. There's one episode, the second episode, I think that's
the one take,
and they actually shot it 3 times. They did actually splice it up a bit, but they shot it at the same time of day, 3 different nights. Okay?
Oh, so it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Because of the lighting was so particular.
Sunset.
Yeah, so they had to. You could only do that in that time frame.
Wow.
So they rehearsed it all day, shot it once that day, and then rehearsed all day, shot it once the next day. But I read a whole article on that, and I maybe spent like 45 minutes researching and learning that, which was super interesting in tandem with the episode. You know what I mean? And it made me love the show more.
Yeah.
And so if you're doing that, like this exchange of knowledge is like, it's what people are more interested in.
And then when you watch a show, like you said, you appreciate it even more, because it doesn't make it less better. Like, you're just like, this
which I think
amazing.
Film nerds have always had that, but now we're seeing that across everything.
Even
it's not
like, you don't have to sift through the sand just to find that. And tell us, Taylor, how did you get to the point where you're now developing your own show? Like,
tell us about the show too.
You went in blog. You were doing blog TO. You're experimenting now, and you're starting to create content again on the streets. TIFF. Where you're actually meeting people, random people, and just trying to connect cultures and communities. And you're doing a bunch of stuff, but tell us about how it led to you now producing your own show.
Yeah, I mean, I always had, like I said, I have a comedy background, so I did a lot of sketch comedy, performed on Second City main stage, did stand-up. Always wanted a show. I did a bunch of web series when I was younger, which had potential, but were never quite there. And it's just something I always wanted to work on. I moved to LA for like half a year in 2018, and I started working for some film production companies. And while I was out there, it was like a bit of a culture shock, as you guys know, is the way they do things. And I was so new to the idea of paparazzi and celebrity culture. I was working at a business that really took advantage of trying to make money off of people, which is such an interesting thing that we don't really see in Toronto as much, but really trying to, like,
be a little freaky.
Dude, it's nuts. Like I was sitting at a round table of TV executives being like, what about this person? Get this person to be in a show. That guy's a has-been. Like, that guy's a joke. Like talking about real people, and you're like, oh, geez. And they're like, yeah, we'll get him in for a few episodes. We'll get a few dollars at it, blah, blah. And I'm just like, geez. Like, it's nuts. Like, it was nuts for me, at least at that
Human
age.
capital.
Yeah, like, it was wild. And I realized that as we move forward towards this digital age where, this exploitation and all this saturation of celebrity and stuff in our just popular culture, I was like, there is groundings for a show here. So originally I'd written a pilot for an It's Always Sunny type show where you're following paparazzi. There's never been like a show from the point of view of paparazzi, which I thought was really funny. Like just these people trying to
following the paparazzi.
Like it follows the characters. The paparazzi trying, and then you have cameos of other celebrities and stuff like that.
It's pretty funny,
right? Great concept. So I wrote that. moved back to Toronto, and I was like, this show only exists in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Like the idea, the concept of it, getting the cameos. I was like
the behind the scenes Entourage or something.
That's what that was pitch. It was like it's Entourage meets like It's Always Sunny. Like you hate these characters, but you're also kind of rooting for them.
Yeah, right.
So that was the initial pilot, and I realized I couldn't make it here. I thought maybe it'd be funny if like the paparazzi were based in Toronto, and in the fact that there's no celebrities here. So it's like
now it's like ironic.
It's ironic.
Yeah.
And then I tried that for a bit, kept workshopping it, and it wasn't until I started working at BlogTO where I realized that paparazzi doesn't really exist anymore in the sense of like, sure, TMZ exists, but it's kind of transformed into just publications. And like what makes a publication these days? An Instagram account. Like the barrier to entry is like, so all these cities around the world have local media that are, you know, gossip, you know, blogs or tabloid based that are putting out sensational headlines every day. When you open your newsfeed, it's just like a bunch of like, this person did that, this person did that, and we're kind of growing numb to it. Anywho, working on the insides of that, I realized that it would be a really cool setting for a workplace comedy to like see what it was like working at one of these publications like Six Buzz or World Star Hip Hop or whatever it is that are just putting out absolute garbage every day and like not contributing to anything, like making the world not a better place.
If it bleeds, it leads.
If it bleeds, it leads, which is a huge component to the show. Anywho,
manja.
Yeah, literally, man. So I've been developing that for like the last 3-4 years, and I was very
developing the show.
So very fortunate. I got some funding from the Toronto Arts Council.
Damn. Let's talk about how'd you do that?
Yeah.
The funding?
Yeah. We all need funding for projects.
We all need funding.
I'm very fortunate that I've always been like a grant nerd.
Yeah.
So like.
Oh no. Okay. This is good.
In high
this
school.
Is accessible.
You know, despite being the most light-skinned guy I know, I'm like, in high school, I was like one of the black kids. There was like, I went to a very like, you know, prominent. I know, it's true. Look at this. I'm like, bro, I'm fucking pale as hell.
Both.
Yeah. But that said, like, everybody didn't need money at my high school. Like, people were like, people's parents were paying for stuff.
What high school did you go to?
I went to a high school called Malvern Collegiate, not to be compared to Malvern, which is an area in Scarborough, but it's close to there. It's in the beaches, upper beaches.
Okay.
Anywho, I applied to every grant, and like I was a kid who was like, you know, I was like student council president.
This is like through the City of Toronto website kind of thing, or these like private?
No, this is just me. Like, this is like our own high school had people who had gone there before that just donated money for like awards.
Sounds like a good high school.
I mean, it was a decent high school. Like a lot of legacy people have gone there. I think Keanu Reeves went to Malvern and all. It's a public school.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So you're just hitting up the high school grants.
I'm applying to everything.
Okay.
Like,
trying to get that money.
And
smart.
I worked all through high school. On my graduation night, I made more money. I made like 12 grand off, like, which was a check.
Yeah.
That was just handed to me because I spent my night writing an essay instead of like just, you know what I mean? So I did all that shit.
Instead of partying and getting hammered.
I was definitely partying.
Okay.
Still. But
you also wrote.
But I would be like,
home, you're like, okay.
I'm like, yo, let's just. It's like it was like an easier chance of winning the lottery. I was like, I've done all the stuff at high school. I've done like I'm.
And everyone had money, so there was like 4 other dudes.
Dude, the competition low, man. Like competition was like low, and like I have done the shit. So I'm like, I write these grants. I won like 5 different grants on my, and then I was like, yo, I'm gonna keep rolling with this. So university
grant check boy, let's go.
I did the same thing. I applied to a bunch of grants. I mean,
university grants, dude.
And then in university, there's more grants, right? And the competition's a little higher, but
good advice because there are grants. People just I don't know what it is. I don't know why I don't apply for grants either.
Canada is actually especially our arts and stuff is all funding from our government. So
we should talk about how to write a good grant application.
Yeah. I mean, well, now that there's ChatGPT, like there was no ChatGPT. Like I was just writing, getting my dad.
It's amazing that you want to write a grant. Let me provide you.
It's wild. Like you can write whatever, and it's going to help formulate. And these grants, because we kind of live in an outdated system in terms of the grant stuff. Like you can use ChatGPT as a tool to increase your essay. Use that as someone to peer review it, and then you can still apply through. I mean, I think things will start to change, and they'll be like video based. You'll have to talk, but still, ChatGPT is scripted.
Have you used ChatGPT yet for a grant?
I have. Oh wait, no, I have. Yeah, recently I've like I use ChatGPT as dude, I use ChatGPT as a collaboration tool.
Yeah, me too.
I'm at home, like I've written something, I've spent some time on this thing for like 2 hours, and I'm like, I can't just
Just
I mean, I
edit it,
probably
right?
could call you guys up, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I just need another point of view. Like, you go back and forth. I get some of the best ideas that way. And that's like what collaboration is.
Yeah.
So,
That being said,
It does work well, which is the crazy thing.
like,
yeah, and it works better now
Yeah.
than it did even
well,
6
it's
months
a
ago.
tool, but at the end of the day, that tool still has to open up the door. The key, it's a key, but what is behind the door is still the artist that they're gonna fund, right? So it can help them get to know who you are, but everybody who uses ChatGPT is not going to get a grant, because at the end of the day, the grants are going to go to somebody who needs it.
You ever seen the movie Limitless?
Yes.
Bradley
Here we
Cooper.
go. You're saying that's
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
No. I'm saying there's a famous line in it where Bradley Cooper discovers that it's called like NZT or something.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And he goes up to the guy who gave it to him,
Mhm.
and he's like, I can't, this drug is amazing, it's awesome. And the guy goes, it works better if you're already smart,
Yeah.
which is like a
Fire.
hilarious dig.
Yeah.
But it's like ChatGPT is the same thing.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
right. That's right.
the better your prompt is, the more information that you're providing
Yeah,
it, the
that's
better
true.
that you're going to get out of it.
That's
So
right.
it's just a tool.
But also who is actually getting, like in your case,
point.
is you're getting a grant. At the end of the day, it's helping communicate who you are and promoting yourself on why you need this grant. But the reason why you're actually getting the grant is because of the work that you've done.
Oh, totally.
You know,
Yeah.
and-
And
and
I'm
the
still
body, your
sitting on my
talent.
computer doing
right.
the work. Like, you
That's
know what I mean?
right.
So,
And that's just a representation of your actual portfolio of the things that you're doing every single day that you're building and that you've been building for the last 5 to 10 years.
Totally.
Right. And
So-
that's an important lesson I just want to say
Oh, yeah.
for anybody who's listening to this. There just isn't, the fastest way to the top of a mountain is slowly. And at the top of the mountain is the bottom of another. Right. So like, I'm
Right.
sure you guys can say that.
Yes.
It's like,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's there is no fastest way. And if you do get it, if you get that lottery moment to the top, you might not be as prepared. You still have to deal with all of the pressures. And unfortunately, a lot of people get to that limelight fast and they're gone and they never get to come back. So you got to be prepared for that moment. And if you haven't worked endlessly for years, that's why I think it's actually better for you to have a longer and harder struggle, but you're staying consistent and true to your vision and failing and spending the money and collaborating with people that then burn you or that don't work out or that this and that. And you just keep going. You continue to be tenacious because at the end of the day, you're going to be more resilient. You're going to be smarter and you're going to develop skills that will allow you to handle all the pressure, but also to have the work ethic. There's no easy way, right? Like the work ethic is the work ethic, and the work ethic is the work ethic, right?
You got to grind. You got to
gotta
grind.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah. I mean, you were saying this. I mean, before you got to where you got, you had shot how many music videos that you weren't making money off of, right?
Yeah, I just funded my own video. I mean, you probably have a similar thing where you're just like funding your own projects until eventually you get a grant or a company's like, all right, we'll give you, and you're like, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my thing at the beginning was like, okay, how do I become a music video director? And I just looked. I was like, I think there's like 2 options. Option 1 is like you work under a director and you're like a gaffer for 2 years, and then you're like an AD and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, man, I don't want to do that. And it's not even guaranteed because you're not even practicing directing. So it doesn't even. I don't even get that concept. It's like now that I've watched you do it, I think I can do it now. It's like I don't even.
Yeah.
We talk about like it doesn't work, right? You have to do the thing, you have to get on stage and practice it. So I was like, well, then what the hell is the second option? Like, how does anyone just become a director? And then every video you watch is like, Tarantino, if you want to be a director, simple, just direct. I'm like, okay, so how much is it to make videos?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I want to make a video. I want to shoot it on 16 millimeter and I want to have a couple things in it. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, $7,000. So then it was like, all right, how many videos do I need that are sick in order to like, show that to someone and then they'll pay me to make them a video. And I just like kept trying. I would like make like 2 videos, hit up an artist, like, do you need a music video? They're like, no. I'm like, shit. Like obviously they do, but they're like looking at my work probably not ready yet.
Yeah.
So I probably spent like 2 years building up like 20 music videos, each one at like 5 to 7K a pop because like I wanted a specific look for my director style.
Wow.
And this is like actually where I was working with Patrick at like the nightclub. So I would work like take nightclub photos for like 4 times a week.
Yeah, shout out to regulars.
Yeah, thank you
Rest
for
in
helping me
peace.
with my career, dude. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I just like saved up a bunch of money, worked really hard, and then took like, and I would shoot stuff on the side. Like I would shoot products and whatever I could get my hands on to
Whatever
do.
you could do to just
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
going,
I'm
right?
very thankful. For those opportunities.
Yeah.
And they just really helped fund like what I really wanted to do at the core, which was like just make art that I really liked, that I thought would be awesome and connect with people.
Yeah.
And eventually, I worked on a portfolio for 2 years, and then every project that I shot, like I would just hit up artists and eventually, like, you know, if they didn't need something, I was like, look, like I have this concept. All you have to do is show up. It'll look like this. We're shooting on film. I'll pay for the whole thing, and all I ask is you just tag me when you post it. And sometimes they wouldn't even tag me.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So but I
was
would
to show you literally were investing in your, and you're like
Definitely.
hemorrhaging money. Family members are
the
probably
only
like, what
way.
are you doing?
No,
What are you
I've
doing?
been all in this entire time. I'm
Yeah.
10 years in. I'm still all in. It's
Yeah,
like
same.
any check I get,
Mhm.
you know, it's very hard to save a lot because you have ideas and to make
Yeah,
art at a high level, like
Yeah.
it costs money.
that's right.
So I just like constantly just like
Yeah.
I invest in myself more
That's
than I
right.
invest in real estate or things like that
Yeah.
at this stage of my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So for the first like 2 years, I was just always all in. Like I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment that we converted to a 3rd bedroom. It was actually so small I couldn't fit a mattress in my room.
Wow.
So I slept on like a couch. It was the communal couch. It was like kind of annoying because like you come home and my boys are playing video games on the couch, and I'm like, dude, this is my bed. Yeah, and actually, this is like so annoying. Like this is brutal, but like I was just so focused on my work for that period of my life that like when I was hustling to like make music videos that I didn't care about hygiene. I even went through a phase I was just shaving my head like every day. Like I was just
like
in my
monk?
own.
You became
Like monk. Like I was like, I want no distractions. I'm just gonna like do whatever I can to get.
Oh yeah, bro.
I just wanted to get that phase out of the way.
Yeah.
It's like this phase is like gonna be hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Like I just have to do
Yeah.
whatever it takes to get there. So
That's
I was
right.
like stinky, like out of shape, and like broke, but like making really good shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember at the nightclub, Pat pulled me to the side once. Was like, dude, like I know you're working really hard, and like we all can see that, but like,
But you stink.
yeah, he was like, bottle service girls are pissed at you.
Wait,
And
actually.
I'm like, oh shit, I'm like the stinky guy. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I was like, dude, it was.
No.
I just remember
Wow.
driving home being like, oh god, that's embarrassing.
Wow.
Yeah, because like I'm walking like smiling, like taking photos, and they're like,
Oh.
and then I just realized like
Yo.
they're in the back pushing each other. Man, he stinks. You smell him today. And I'm
my
like,
God.
no, I became that guy.
Oh, pig pen.
Yeah.
But
I
that-
was total pigpen vibe.
But that shows
Yeah.
your dedication.
Yeah.
You know? That shows, and sometimes it
much,
goes
yeah.
overboard, right? That's
Yeah.
another thing, right? Like
Yeah.
so many of us creatives and people that are out there that
Yeah.
are grinding and have been doing it for 5,
Yeah.
almost 10 years. Maybe you started when you were 15 years old. That you go so hard in, sometimes you're going a little too much in. And that's
Yeah.
when you need to have kind of either someone check you
Yeah.
or somebody, you know, and that,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, you smell like shit.
Yeah. Well,
right?
here's one thing though that's important is like another thing I learned from that experience was like, if I want to be a great director, people are not gonna trust me if I'm hella stinky.
Yeah.
So I was like, doing the work is also like working on yourself.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can't just like only do the art part because
Yeah.
at the same time like people are just not gonna even
Yeah.
not gonna even want to
Yeah.
talk to me if I stink.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, people do judge books by their
Yeah,
covers.
so I was like, okay, like part of getting further in my
Mm-hmm.
career is like, you know, actually taking care of myself.
Yeah.
Like what's
Yeah.
my style?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
what do I want to smell like? Right? Like how is my room actually gonna be?
Yeah.
I was like, it's okay like to go through that at the beginning, but at the
Yeah,
same
and
time,
you need
like
to evolve.
you kind of have to just decide at one point, like, okay, well, this is not like gonna cut it anymore.
I think that
Yeah.
was huge for me when it came to alcohol and drinking because when I started performing, I started during lockdown and there was nowhere you could perform, but it was spring and summer and I bought myself a Bose that I still have to this day. I plugged in my guitar, I had a microphone, and I just started performing in all the busiest intersections in Toronto and people would show up, throw money in. I just started making actual money. Like I'd make 100, 200, sometimes $1,000, you know, and then a guy would show up and be like, hey, I'm a drummer. I'm on tour, but I can't go anywhere right now because we're on lockdown. Can I play with you? I know a bass player.
Right.
Now I have a band, and you got a band, and it's summertime in Toronto. People are showing up to the droves. People are crying. People are like, I haven't heard or seen anybody in like 6 months. I've been locked up in my room because we're not allowed to go out. There's a mandate. And I did that for a couple of years. But while I was doing that, I started drinking and drinking more and drinking more. And it's also easy to throw in a little bit of drugs in there and you're having too much fun, you know? And it's true, right? And it's just like, by the end of the second year, at the end of 2021, there was like a December that I drank almost every day for like 25 days. Like I was having like apple cider and I was having wine and I was just having a good time. And, you know, I'm really stressed. I just need to just like let off some steam.
Take the edge off,
But then I looked in the mirror and I could see that I was taking a toll. And I was like, one, Also, I was losing my voice sometimes because I'd always be doing shots before because I was so nervous to perform, and I started getting these kind of like low key like speakeasy gigs where I'm actually getting paid now. And I would lose my voice. I couldn't hit certain notes because I was smoking and I was drinking. And it kills you because if you don't know, caffeine and alcohol dehydrate you. And to be a really good performer, not just as a singer, but anything in life, you need to be hydrated.
Right.
And I had to look at myself and be like, yo, you're having a problem. And I also had friends that were like, listen, how long are you going to keep doing that?
They checked you.
I got checked. And I was like,
that's good.
I need, like, how badly do you want this? If you want to go all the way, you need to treat yourself like an Olympic athlete.
Yeah.
You know, but also, what's your style? Where do I live? What am I doing when I'm not performing that's bettering me? Am I reading?
Yeah.
Am I rehearsing? Am I writing? Am I connecting with other high level people?
Or are you taking care of your stress levels, dude?
Exactly. Because if you're constantly coping with things that are unhealthy for you, it's only going to make everything worse, you know? So how am I coping with my stress levels? Am I exercising? Am I going for a walk? Am I sleeping?
Yeah.
You know? Am I stinky? Am I not showering? Right? Like all these factors that.
Let's not make the podcast about this.
No, but it's so important.
Look right in my eyes when you said that.
To understand that it's so important for us to not only get obsessed with the one thing that is our calling.
Yeah, right.
Because we all know that's our, like, I can't change that I'm a musician, that I'm a singer, that I have to do this. I can't change that. But how can I make it sustainable? How can I make a living from it? How can I continue to grow? And how can I make incredible art that inspires people? And then with that, how can I be a philanthropist? How can I give back? Like what you're doing with SDF, it's philanthropic. You're giving back to your community. You're giving back. You're helping people go to the next level. You have to. I think that's what's at the top of the pyramid is giving back. You know, and I think Taylor, you've been doing that with Soho House, but also with other, you know, organizations that you're working with. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I was very fortunate, similar to the Grant mentality, that I was like really trying to get credibility. I mean, I still am, but trying to, and I did a TED talk about this, but like I co-sign, like trying to get co-signs as much as possible, right? And so I realized that by joining mentorship programs, they were kind of like badges of credibility. And so I tried to apply to House. I got into like the first wave of House. I tried to get into,
congrats.
I tried eventually, but yeah, we got to the first, wait a minute. Great opportunity. I got into a Canon program, which has been a huge client since then. And then I got into Soho House one, and I was a mentee. I think it was during the end of the pandemic.
Let's go.
So the program was actually kind of a little bit lackluster because we couldn't go to the house because it was closed because of the pandemic. So it was like, all right, but I just really tried hard, and I was trying to like make myself known there. So I ended up hosting the showcase, which is like the culminating event at the end of the program. I produced a project that I was really proud of, like a music documentary for the showcase. I put on the event, and then the house noticed that, and we're like, you know, we'll get him to start hosting other events. So I started hosting events, introducing artists who kind of passed through. And then from there, they asked me to be a part of the committee. And so I was sitting kind of like a brand ambassador for the house, which I'm still on, you know, trying to get members in, doing events. And then that turned into the third-party organization that runs the mentorship program being like, why don't you host and run the program? Like you are perfect. You know, you came up, you did it. And so since then, that was maybe 4 years ago, I've been the host and like producer of the mentorship program. So we at Soho House, Soho House Toronto. So we take in 25 emerging creatives from marginalized communities, basically pair them with a member of the house who is their mentor. Not always in the vocation that they've devoted themselves in, but there's always something to be learned with whoever they're paired with. Transferable skills. And then you're paired with them for 16 weeks. And it's pretty like hands off. And then at the end, there's what we call the showcase, which is a culminating event, and you show whatever project that you've been working on. Could be anything. Like it's whatever you want to do. Could just be like a couple songs that you want to perform, or like a documentary, which is what I did, or like whatever. And so I've been doing that. And what's great for me selfishly is that I get to meet the mentors and I get to meet the mentees. So I get to gain knowledge from these emerging creatives who are going on to be like big names. And then I get to meet the mentors who are, you know, consistently trying to contribute to the community. Some of these are big artists and people.
Yeah.
And I'm in between because I'm connecting them,
That's right.
but I get
You
both.
become the bridge. You're
I'm the
bridging.
bridge, but it's like super advantageous for myself as well. But I that's why I'm like, I don't like to phrase it as giving back, because I'm getting something for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is so rewarding to like meet all these people
Definitely.
who are like coming up, trying to like hustle. And so I've been doing that for some time.
You're still doing it now?
Yeah, I'm still doing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
Can you go into the Soho House now?
Can I go into it?
Yeah,
Thank God. I can
They
go
opened
into
it?
Yeah.
They opened it. Yeah. It's
I've been
open.
to-
Looks
I've been to
great.
a couple of his
Highly
events there.
recommend. Highly
Yeah.
recommend.
Fire.
And I've had the pleasure of performing there as well a few
Yeah.
times as a
Let's go, of
musician.
course.
Yeah.
For the dinner hours, because I got to keep gigging. That's another thing is for people that start getting, we always have days that are tough, not just as creatives, but as entrepreneurs, as people that are paving the way for their own destiny, right? You're going to have days that are tougher than others. You're going to have days where you don't want to go to the gym. You're going to have days where maybe you get the wrong phone call, or maybe you didn't get the gig that you wanted, or the project that you wanted, or maybe your bills are so piled up, you don't know what to do and you feel overwhelmed. But I think it's really important to remind people out there that we're all in it together and that we all deal with that, but you have to keep going. Clearly you kept going. Elliott, you kept going. And it's like, I'm sure both of you guys have had many, 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 many times that you've had or felt that you had all the reasons in the world to quit and maybe go get a normal job or be normal.
Yeah, man.
But you haven't. And you're still grinding, right?
Yeah. Like,
What
You know-
am I doing this for?
I'm going to say, like, there's that saying, hustle like you're ugly, you know? And it's not to be offensive to anybody,
Gotta be
but,
ugly. Let's go.
gotta hustle like we're ugly.
Yeah.
Because nothing's going to be given to you, and having a sense of entitlement because you've worked for so many years and done so many dope things doesn't mean that you deserve what you want, or that you don't deserve to continue to grind or struggle. I believe that we're constantly doing it, right? Like, you guys are still hustling.
Mhm.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I sometimes try to, like, when I'm like in my kitchen in the morning, I'm like, I sometimes just like when I'm, when you wake up and you like go through all the things you have to do during the day,
Yeah.
you get a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like, oh man. And then I start thinking about like timeline. I always try to think of like the timeline where I'm at in my career. And it
Yeah.
always like jumps between like, is this just the beginning still? Like, is this like halfway through? Like, I don't ever know. Because sometimes I'm just like, some days I'm like, I really hope this is halfway through. Because I think about like all the stuff I put in. But then I also think like, wow, I still want to go and make like kids movies and do all this. I want to experience so much more. And I'm like, so is this just school? Like, is this still primary school? Is this university?
feel that.
I literally have no idea what,
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but like, I guess because there is no top, I guess. Right. But yeah, some days I'm just like, because sometimes it makes you feel better. Like maybe like you push through a little bit more. I don't have to go through as many hard challenges, but there's always new challenges.
There's always new
yeah.
challenges.
So maybe there is no beginning, middle, end. It's just like, as long as you love it, you just keep going through,
Yeah.
I don't know. You ever think about that? You're like, where am I at?
I think
in
about
my
that
career?
all the time, and like where you thought you'd be by a certain age.
Yeah,
or by a
that
certain
can get to
thing.
you.
That can get to you.
Yeah,
That can
that was really
mess with
hard,
you.
right? Then you go on
Yeah.
Instagram, some like 10-year-olds are right stand up.
Oh, dude, it's comparison, bro. It's
That one kills you, man.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Good one,
And
yeah.
it's so important not to do that, and to remember that there's only you, that you're unique. You are unique in this universe. There's never been and never will be anybody like you.
Yeah.
You're the only one. There's only one Elliott Muscat, and there's only one Taylor Patterson. There may be people that have the same names. Maybe there's parallel universes, but you are the only person in history to be what you are. And you have your own journey. And that's what makes it so beautiful. And at the end of the day too, what we're all trying to do is put a smile on people's faces, or to make people feel something, and I think that if you were given the keys to the castle immediately, you're never going to be able to really appreciate
burn it all
what
down.
you're doing.
Yeah.
You're never going to be able, the beauty is in the process. It really is,
Yeah, it's like a self-discovery thing, I think. That's
Every
like
single
the
day.
cool thing about making art is like, in order to make better art, you have to understand yourself more.
Yeah.
It's like, it's almost like my own therapy. It's like if I want to,
100%.
because what you'll find is if you create art based off of like replicating someone, then it doesn't do well because it's just not authentic.
Yeah.
So in order to like know how to create authentic work, you have to be an authentic person.
totally.
And I just think like, because I chose a career in art, I've just loved it since a kid. Like, I started by just or like copying other people's work as like a way to learn the craft.
Yeah.
And then you realize it doesn't serve you long term, and you're like, okay, well now I have to like get to know myself.
Yeah.
And like what's my voice?
Yeah.
And through that
Yeah.
is like healing in itself, because then you have to do deep work in order to understand yourself, and like that's therapy in itself.
Absolutely.
So I'm finding like the journey of just like making art is just, I'm just learning who I am now. You know?
And you have to be vulnerable, because
yeah, it's so hard.
You can. It's so easy to hide behind somebody else's art. Like as a
Yeah.
musician, one of the best ways to just start gigging and being able to make money and have a livelihood is being a cover artist.
Yeah,
And,
right.
Like I'm getting gigs everywhere because I'm doing
Yeah.
maybe 70% cover and then
Yeah.
30% of my own music, and I get to test out new songs that I write. But for the longest time, you know, it was so much easier for me to learn other people's songs, but I also needed to, so that I could learn how to play an instrument, how to correctly sing, and learn from the icons that I look up to. But then at some point, it was like people kept coming up to me and be like, I love how you perform, but I really want to hear your songs. I really want to hear your story. I feel like there's so much more for you to give. And like nobody ever became an iconic artist or known by singing other people's songs. People know you by your own art, and what you have to say, and like you said, your own voice. You know, and it's therapy.
It's therapy.
And it's like, I think, you know, we're coming to the end of this, and I just wanted to touch on that. How do we bring therapy into our lives every single day so we can deal with life's pressures? How we deal with the pressure that we put onto ourselves, because nobody's really calling us every single day or messaging us and saying like, you need to do better, you need to create that children's movie. How come you haven't already shot that show that you're producing and starring in? How come, you know, like all these things, like how do you, and then not only that, you may get a phone call that someone passes away. You know, that's real life shit. How do we deal with those what's the therapy that we do every single day, you know?
I wish I had all the answers, because I feel like even the phase that you guys were just speaking about being vulnerable, like I feel like I'm still like trying to experiment with trying to find all those things. Like I haven't quite, and I'm learning. Like I quit my day job in May, and I did that job again for credibility, as I said before, to get my face out there. I'm very you know, it's been a privilege to get to wear that badge, and for people to come up to the street and be like, I recognize you from those videos.
Let's go.
But then when I quit, I realized like how I make videos and what I was doing wasn't me. Like I
wasn't
my voice at all. And then I quit and I started making videos like that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't like them when I made them. And I'm like, this isn't my voice. And so now I'm kind of feel like I'm still in that experimentation.
And was that scary for you, for, you know,
it still is. Yeah. Like it's been 6 months now of just being like fully freelance. I never had the courage to do that. And it's super rewarding. But at the same time, as you guys know, it's like, I gotta figure out how to make money. I gotta figure out how to not just do art, but like to make money. You know what I mean? So grants, man. Double time right now.
You got bills. Everybody's got bills to pay.
And the luxury was when I was at BlogTO, it's like I had the ability to be creative, but when I wasn't doing that, I could really grind on my stuff. I have a good work ethic. But now it's like I need to grind so I make money, and then also have time for the art. So I'm trying to master that right now.
We all have to balance that until eventually we reach whatever part of that summit is. And again, I don't know where I'm at, so it could be like 10 years, right? But I will say this. I will say that, like, as an artist, it's challenging to make money because we have to perform, like, we have to do jobs that we don't want to do in order to pay for our art. Sometimes, you know, they're easier and they feel more authentic to us than others. But as an artist, I realize, like, more and more as I get older, if you want to have a career that is the best possible career you can have, you have to be so certain with, like, who you are and be the most authentic version of yourself, because you can't have a successful career as an artist if you're performing like life. If you're performing life, and what I mean by that is like doing the things that look good on paper, or like what you were saying, like you're like, you know, doing the TikTok thing that feels like the thing you're supposed to do. None of that, if it's not who you are, is actually going to give you the best possible career. Like if you look at the best artists on the planet that have ever lived, like even before Instagram and stuff, like they're just like Basquiat, right? Like that guy's like not giving a shit about what anybody thinks. He's not performing being an artist. He just is doing the thing that feels authentic to him. And if that's your best shot at having the best career possible for you, and you might not know what that looks like I'm saying I want to make a kids film, but maybe the most like authentic thing that gives me the best shot at being the best artist I can be becomes something else. And the only way you'll know what that is by doing the work on yourself, by keep making things that feel authentic to you. And the therapy behind that is actually like probably doing some therapy, or like you know, stripping away everything, being really connected with like the stuff that you're making and seeing if it really feels true to you. You can feel it like in your body, and the more and more you do it, if it doesn't feel authentic, you, at least for me, I start to like resist it. You know, and if you start listening to like, you know, you think about who you are, and you like, and you listen in your body, like the thing that you want to make is calling. Like it's always been there. You know, it's just harder to do that because it's so hard to make money from that immediately.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
That's right. You have to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
With time and money, and you literally have to do it and believe in yourself. And when people stop, you know, people don't believe in you, or maybe family members are worried about you, you have to be relentless, because you're then being authentic to yourself. And on the process of doing that, you also need to take care of yourself, which means you need to make sure that you're eating, exercise, move your body, sleep well, really make sure that you're honing in on all of the other habits in your life so that you can be the best version of yourself, right?
It's really challenging because like the low-hanging fruit is the performance. It's like if I wanted to have a career like, you know, just doing, I don't know, like let's just say music videos, like you could look at like the top like 20 music videos out there and just like kind of learn how to do that and play the game. But like if that's not like really what I want to do, then I'm just like, that's a low-hanging fruit. You're almost just like replicating what the cool thing is. Or like if you want to be a TikTok influencer, whatever it is, like you can just look at what that looks like and you can replicate it based off of the models that exist. But I think like the real art form is like, for you, there's no blueprint and there's no like like performance version of it. You actually have to like just go for it and trust that whatever your voice is and your thing is like will work. And that's the scariest thing about it. And that's what I'm like afraid to make that leap, because like I have opportunities that can like, you know, keep money on the table, and like I could see, you know, it's like I could have a career in advertising or like creative direction, but like, will I ever know like really what my internal voice is as an artist if I don't let that go at some point and not try to like look at a blueprint of other people's work, but just like go for whatever just naturally comes out, whatever that is. And I think that's like how you get the Basquiat's, like that's how you get the Tarantino's, like, because they'll make that art whether it makes $1 million or nothing.
That's right.
Right. And like that's the scary part is like we could do the things that have the blueprint that are proven to work, or we let that go and we just say, fuck it, I'll just see who I am completely, do the work internally to get to know myself and put that out, whatever that looks like. That's where I'm at.
I have a question for both of you. So I am going to refer to this conversation I had with Trezor last week, who is just like, he was telling me he's a very popular creator and he puts out so many videos all the time. And his name's Trezor. I am Trezor. You've definitely seen his videos. He puts out, like, he's always filming. He's like, I don't go outside, bro. He's like, I film, I hustle, I make videos. Obviously, he loves doing it. He's great at it.
Sick.
And now we live in a time where it's super demanding, where you need to be posting every single day if you really want to, like,
really
get up
tough.
there. At times, I think to myself, I'm like, oh, if I'm in my room and I'm editing all the time, consistently editing, and I'm making videos and I'm giving so much to this art form or to this career path, and then there'll be times where like my girl's like, yo, can we watch that episode of Game of Thrones? And I'm like, nah, I'm locked in, I gotta finish this edit. And I'm like, am I missing the point sometimes by like, I'm grinding so hard that will I look back and be like, if it doesn't pay off, I look back and I'm like, oh, maybe I should have just went for that walk.
I mean,
I should have like
dude.
blah blah.
Maybe,
and I'm like, this is the question that we have all the time.
That's the
you know?
balance.
It's just like, what is it worth it? Is like really, it's just ultimately like what's bringing you joy, and like, is it worth it? You have to just ask yourself, like, if I, you know, like, like I have a hard time having long-term relationships because like I just end up working so hard. But now I'm 34 and I'm like, was that worth it? I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah.
There's no answer. And I don't know. That's just the place where I do ask myself these questions, because I'm like, I feel like the three of us are really hardworking people, and we put in the work, and I'm all for patience.
Yeah.
But I do, especially as a son of someone who was an artist who didn't quite make it, and has regrets.
Damn.
That's always been at the back of my head, being like, am I missing the point here? Am I missing the, you know what I mean? So,
I've learned
right.
the balance is it's okay to take a break. I think also a lesson that I learned a few years ago was we can't be authentic to ourselves, and we can't be great creators, and we can't be great entrepreneurs if we're not taking a moment to live.
Yeah.
It's like eat, pray, love. Like, you need to take that trip to Italy
and
just be Taylor, just be Elliott, eat the best food, swim in the ocean, just let your soul be full of goodness and experience and life and love. You need to go and spend time with your family. But there has to be a balance between that. And sometimes you have to have the sacrifice of working really, really, not sometimes, you have to work really hard to accomplish these major, massive goals. But you also need to know when it's time to put the pen down and go take a break, go for that walk.
Yeah.
You know, you have to, and it's not easy. I don't,
Here's one thing that happened to me, like last year. I did get a great job like at a record label, and I have had an experience where I've made more money than I've ever made like in my life for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
And I always thought about life as like, because we learn about manifestation, we learn about like mood boarding, and like I've been doing that as a kid. I'm a very visual person, but I started basing my life off of like my mood board, which like it works. Like at some point, like even I remember in 2024, I made my mood board at the end of 2023 for 2024, and like by February, like 90% of it was done.
Wow.
Like, man, I'm getting fucking fire at this. Like, and some stuff was like out of control.
It's like tangible manifestation.
Yeah, it was like I like hit like a finance goal. I hit like a gallery. I did like I just like had photos and ideas of things I wanted to accomplish, and I was like, how the fuck is like 90% of this finished in 2 months? And like by chance, and it was like because I was working on myself. But then another strange thing happened, which was like, at the end of that year, why I moved back to Toronto after living in Miami was because like I did everything that I wanted to accomplish on paper, and it wasn't like all of a sudden I was like sick. I finished, like I did the manifestation thing and I feel amazing. I felt like unaccomplished or something. There was like a feeling that was lacking, and then I had to realize like it didn't like bring me the joy. Like you kind of do the goals because you think like that's gonna be the ultimate thing that will make you happy, and like we're supposed to do those things. But I think I realized like that a lot of those goals were like coming from a place of like ego, and not from a place of like it was less about the process, and it was more about like doing the thing, because that's
checking it
to
off.
learn,
And the accolades.
right? It was like, you work really hard in the gym, it's gonna suck, and then you'll get like the abs, like look how hard I worked on it, or like the accolades, right? Or like you get like the whatever 50,000 followers on this, and all of a sudden you're like fire. But like the grind getting there, if it's like terrible, then all you have is like 5 minutes of like joy because you did the goal, and then you're like, well, I don't feel any different, and now I actually feel like I wasted my time. So what I learned is, this is actually the way to answer the question, I think, is like I learned that all we actually have is the process, and also all we have is knowing why we're doing the thing.
Right.
So if you're editing nonstop and not spending your time with your girl, you have to ask yourself like, is this editing going to pay off in a way that is like, for me, it's like the Scratch This Full thing is, it feels bigger than me. So I'm like, I can put myself through hell all the time because I know that some kid somewhere is going to be like, thank you.
Totally.
So then it's worth it for me. But if it's like, I'm going to put myself through hell because now I'm just going to look fire, it doesn't, that didn't work.
Yeah.
So you have to know the why, and then you also have to realize that like the end goal is fucking bullshit. Like the only thing that you have is the process. Did you enjoy all the time you put into it? And if you're not enjoying it, then it better be like 400 more kids or something, or more are going to feel something from it. The sacrifice is worth it, because there's a quote that's like, when I die, like I want to be like used up completely, so that others can, I can't remember what it is exactly. I want to be thoroughly used for like my candle, blah blah blah. I can't remember, but I like that idea of being like, you're going through hell to serve others is what makes it worth it. But at the same time, you also have to take care of yourself, and you do need to enjoy your life. So you don't want to be like fucking beating yourself.
You can't enjoy life later. You gotta enjoy.
You can't be stinky.
You can't be stinky.
I want to finish on that thought. I got to go to Colombia in 2023 with an incredible painter named Carlos Delgado. He invited me to do an artist in residency program, and while I was there for 3 months, I found this phenomenal school. It's an orphanage, an all-girls school that also, they live there, they go to school in the daytime, and in the evening they all learn to play orchestral music. So it's a symphony orchestra. So they invited me to start teaching them English and music, because Spanish is my first language. And while I was there, I realized that it was 100% privately funded. So myself and another artist teamed up together. We got the whole town, the businesses in the town, everybody to give what they could. We did a benefit concert. We raised money so that we can take care of the school for a couple of years. What I learned from that touches on what you said and what you said. when we do things for our ego, which is what really drives majority of consumption, you feel more empty. But when you give back, you feel fulfilled. So it's like, find the balance where at the end of the day, everything we should do and all the hard work we should do is, how are we giving back and how is this philanthropic? Because when we give, we fulfill ourselves. When we take, we feel empty.
I don't know who said it, but it's like, I think it was Will Smith actually. And he was
who you just worked with recently.
Yeah. Super nice guy. I really love him. But I think it was him, I think, that just said, like, if you're not making other people's lives better, then you're just wasting your time. And I like believe that to a core. I've always believed that, because like, especially now with so much crap like being put out in the world, and there's so much like stress and negativity, and like it's just I don't think like as a human race we're working towards making our lives better. We're just creating more divide, I think. Like it depends on how you want to look at it.
Because if it leads, you know.
I mean, dude, look, what about Bob Marley? That guy's whole career was like, I'm never gonna stop performing because the people that are making the world worse they're not taking a day off. That's so why should I?
That's my number one. He's my North Star of musicians.
Literally. So I just think like that is just that's a sustainable force. Like that is like no ego in it, and that's 100%. Like what lets you get through the harder days. That's what lets me get through, because I'm like, even if this fails and this is gonna be hard, at least like someone can benefit from it at some point. You know?
Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. With that, thank you very much, guys. Taylor Patterson, Elliott Muscat, Adriano Clarke. We're bridging right now. We're bridging from Toronto to the rest of the world and back, creating incredible content, creating incredible art. Thank you guys so much for just sharing your stories.
Thanks for having us, dude.
I really appreciate it.